Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Wolosha.
Look up on the wall, there on the floor, under the pillow, behind the door. There's a crack in the mirror, somewhere there's a hole in the window pane. Now do you think I'm to blame? Tell me, do you think I'm to blame? You're never there when they show it. You stop and stare.
Welcome in, everybody, on this Thursday. Penny and Ed met the press. We'll get into that in a second. Miami of Ohio proved they were deserving. Lennon Schmidt, did you watch any of that game last night? I'm not.
Because I unmuted you.
Oh.
I was actually at the Grizz game last night.
I watched Miami of Ohio now 3 times. They are really fun to watch. I mean, they shoot threes. They are fearless. Toward the end of the game, I thought they were silly because they kept attacking when they should have been taking time off the clock. But in the end, it didn't matter. They were 10-point winners. And I got to tell you this. They had 20 assists on 29 buckets made. They made 16 threes. They play the right way. Hi, Coach Steele. He's got a scheme. They play defense hard. I mean, they're always moving. There's no question Bruce Pearl should apologize to them, and he did not last night. It was, oh, well, they're, yeah, really good. He never brought up the fact that he said they shouldn't be in there, that I saw, and I was watching. I was going back and forth between the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies do win. And you know what I learned last night about the Grizzlies? That I wasn't sure of?
What's that?
You know, the streamers that come down after, it works.
They do.
Yeah, they work. Yeah, you didn't know because they hadn't used them in such a long time. I wasn't
I know.
sure. But yeah, they did come down, and we will talk with Pete Pranica about that in a minute. Tom Hart, through the NCAA tournament, will be with us in the middle segment, and then the Hall of Famer Jarvis Greer on a myriad of topics. Before we get to Pete in about 5 minutes, let me sort of go over what happened last night. Or yesterday, I should say, at the press conference when Dr. Ed Scott and Penny Hardaway met the press. One of the first things that was presented was that part of the reason that Ed Scott decided to bring Penny back for another year was because Penny said, I need help. The game has changed. I do have a plan. He presented Ed with a plan. That, in Ed's mind, was, okay, here's a guy. He's beloved. He helps us in a lot of areas, fundraising in particular, even to get coaches to come here, recruitment. He's so valuable in a lot of different ways. He's saying he needs my help. That's my job. So I'm going to give him another year for that. I'm going to provide him with things. And he's helping me by giving me a plan that I can help him enact. So that's the beginning. Some of the things were you are going to see within 7 to 10 days a new GM. You will see, obviously, 2 new lead coaches and a new strength coach. Strength coach, I don't know what the priority is on that. And keep in mind, at the same time, Ed and Tim Duncan are still in the process of trying to identify and hire a women's basketball coach. So they got a lot of moving parts. So they don't even have a sports information director. Terrence Lowry is doing that position. So they are in scramble mode. Make no mistake about all of that. So you got 7 to 10 days. Some of the interesting aspects for me, in ways that Dr. Scott is trying to support Penny and help him, would be using analytics with AI to identify the right people for the program, price tags and everything else. And so Ed said, basically, we went to a professor who will use AI. And if Penny said, he gave this example, I want a guy about 6'6", who's a D3 player, who shoots about 40% from three-point range. So AI will scour the portal, because there's going to be 2,000 kids in the portal, will scour the portal for that particular kind of guy. And then they will assign a value to that and make an offer. Penny did say the returning players, there are 8 who are eligible. Of the 8 players returning, every one of them has been given a new price tag on what they would receive, if anything, and what their role would be. And they have until tomorrow to accept that. So, and I'm making this up, but let's just say he's going to a rope, and he's saying, a rope, you're going to be the 12th guy on the team, and we're giving you $200. Now I'm making that stuff up. That wouldn't be the case. Aaron Bradshaw, you have a potential to be a starter. You got do a lot of different things. Your pay cut is now in half. I think he was making about $750, so we're giving you $375. And this is how your role is going to be. You're going to be an inside guy. We're not going to be a wing guy anymore. And you're going to have to get stronger. Your hands going to be stronger. You got to work on fundamental. You're an inside guy. Quit taking, and I'm making this up, quit taking threes in warm-ups, which always bugged the heck out of me. Curtis Givens III. Curtis, we see you as a backup point guard. You're not going to be the starter. You're taking a 40% pay decrease. And again, this is me making this up. This is not. But these are the kinds of things that he has laid out to these players. And I could be completely wrong about Bradshaw and Givens and the way they're talking about it. Probably right about a rope. But anyway, they have until Friday, tomorrow. I don't even know what the time is, noon, 6, who knows. But they have till tomorrow. I was a bit surprised that all 8 guys on a team that had the worst record in 56 years, all 8 guys have been extended, apparently, opportunities to come back. So we'll see how all of that plays out. It could be that, they gave him offers that there's no way they're going to accept them. I don't know. And Penny was asked about that. And Penny basically said, he was asked if anybody said no yet. And he was not going to reply to all of that. Dr. Scott was asked about the revenue share, and he said it will be there. That's one of the things he's proud of, what he's accomplished in the 18 months he's been here, how he's been able to build the revenue share, and that Memphis's basketball revenue share will be not only the best in the conference, it will be the best in the group of 6, and it will be on par with some of the Power 4 schools. Okay? That is really good news. He was asked, and this was a big part of it because we have all seen the decline in attendance. How do you get that to be improved? And Dr. Scott said this was going to be a grassroots thing. They're going to have to really make a concerted effort. They're talking about better PR opportunities that they will try to use more often with the basketball team and with Penny, maybe open practices once a week. Going to see people with donors. It'll be Penny with those fundraisers that will go. There's a lot of different things they will try and do. They're talking about, and this I think is needed. They have, because there was such a demand for tickets in the old days. If you wanted to get a lower bowl ticket, you had to pay a license, a seat license, basically a donation for the ability to buy the ticket in the spot you wanted. That makes sense when there is incredible demand. When there's not, and people look at your schedule and they go, I don't like the league. Why should I pay that kind of money? I'll buy the ticket, but I'm not paying the donation. I know myself 3 different individuals from 3 different walks of life that all did not renew their tickets based on the fact that they had complained, they have made their thoughts known, they didn't mind buying the tickets, they wanted to buy the tickets, but they were done with paying a donation for the kind of schedule that they were looking at. I think that's fair. And I do think that Dr. Scott Tim Duncan, they're going to have to rethink that. They're going to have to take a look and say, okay, I know those donations are tied up to our budget. And I don't even know what the percentage is, but I would guess it's a pretty good chunk. So you have to do the math. I know, how do you figure no donation, more tickets? Does that kind of equal out? It might not. But wouldn't it be better to get ticket money coming in and folks in the stands as opposed to we're not giving you the donation, so we're not buying anything? I mean, that makes sense to me, and I think they understand that now. I think they will rethink that. It was an interesting press conference. I think it lasted almost an hour, 45 minutes for sure. There was a lot of emotion from Penny. More emotion than I've ever seen from Penny. And Penny is saying, give me a break, guys. I'm all Memphis. I've been all Memphis from the very beginning. I have been really good in the regular season. I can't think of all of the Hall of Fame coaches and top 25 programs that Penny has been able to beat in the regular season. He himself says, I got to do a better job in the postseason. And that's the next step. I will say this, though. It seemed pretty clear throughout this press conference. Penny's got to win next year. He's got to make the tournament. They didn't put in a number. They didn't say Sweet 16. I just think if Penny is going to be around for a 10th year, he's definitely going to have to make the tournament. That's just reading the tea leaves. And no one is going to pull harder than me for Penny. We switch gears. Let's talk same venue, different team. That would be the Major Tenants. That would be the Memphis Grizzlies. And Pete Pranica, their television voice, joins us now. I said earlier I was just happy to know the streamers still work there in FedEx Forum. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good to know that that they work again after 5 straight home losses and 8 losses overall. It was a fun win, and it was cathartic. The guys have been playing hard. They're undermanned, they're undersized, they're under a lot of things, but the effort was certainly there, and it was great to see it paid off with a win last night over Denver.
I have to ask you, how much of that was just the Grizzlies finally clicking, and they did a lot of good things here, or was a part of that the fact that Denver, playing a back-to-back, had an engine problem with an airplane? I guess they got in much later than they thought, and they just didn't play that well. Which do you think is the real thing here?
Combination. Denver, there were travel issues. They had played the night before. This was the game that had to be rescheduled because of the January 25th sleet storm. So it was not ideal. They were also playing a nationally televised game, and even though the NBA is raking in billions and billions of dollars, the national TV schedule is forcing teams to play at times that are just not conducive. So they played a late game. I think it started at 8 or 8:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
It's 9 Memphis time.
Yeah.
And then forced into a back-to-back. But they blew out Philadelphia. Their main players didn't play more than 20, 25 minutes. So was it fatigue? Maybe. I think the Grizzlies just played harder, wanted it a little bit more. They were outshot, but they were not out-hustled, and ultimately that was the difference.
I think maybe Tuomas Isolo has come up with something here. It looked like every time the great player that Jokic is, Djokovic, that he was double teamed or triple teamed. That people were coming at him from all angles. He had 10 turnovers in the game. He had a triple double, almost a quadruple double, 29 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists, but 10 turnovers, and points off turnovers, 27-10, were a big part of this game.
Yeah, it was a huge part of it. And the other thing, too, is that the game that the Grizzlies lost, I think, by 6 back in February, Jokic had 9 turnovers. So even before the game, Tuomas said, I think we have a good game plan against him. That's odd to say, given that he regularly has a triple-double against the Grizzlies, but they forced him into 10 turnovers. Taylor Hendricks had 6 steals. They just were the pesky gnats flying around Jokic, and that was a big reason why. And the Grizzlies kept their turnovers low. Grizzlies, turnover numbers have been excessively high, and the points lost off turnovers excessively high. That was not the case last night.
Jokic, Is he a little bit heavier than he was at this time a year ago or 2 years ago?
It's possible because he missed time due to injury. So it's possible that he lost a little bit of conditioning and maybe added a few pounds. That's that's just the eyeball test. I don't know for sure.
Ty Jerome, outstanding, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. So he almost had a triple-double. I know if there's going to be expansion and you got to protect 8 players, I would assume Ty Jerome is going to be in that grouping.
Well, I mean, you're talking about expansion a couple years down the road.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no expansion draft in the short term, but I mean he's paid dividends. There's no question, and you wonder what this team might have been able to do if Morant had been healthy. And if Ty Jerome had been healthy, I mean, basically missed half. He's played 13 games, So
and Zach Edey,
you had
and Zach Edey in that mix,
right. And so really, when you look at what the coaching staff is trying to get out of the current group, is we've got some really, really good players who are going to be the complementary guys, and everybody right now, frankly, is auditioning for a job for next year. That's really what's going on right now. And the coaching staff is evaluating everybody, and it's like, okay, we know that we got Zach Edey, we know that we've got Ty Jerome, we've got Cedric Coward, we got some young pieces. So, okay, how does a guy like Olivier Maxence prosper? How does he fit in with the vision of this team going forward? How do some of these other guys? How does Walter Clayton, Taylor Hendricks? How would they fit with this group next year, assuming that you've got some healthy bodies next year?
G.G. Jackson, too, he had double figures last night with Hendricks and with Coward. I saw just, I guess it's breaking this morning, Cade Cunningham now has a collapsed lung. I don't know how that happened, but he's out now for a little bit. When you take into account, I think SGA's got some knee soreness, or some critical players got some knee soreness. He's out for a couple of weeks. All the injuries to all the key players this year. And I heard Steve Kerr say this. I've thought it for a while. I don't know how you fit this financially into a new model, but do you think they need to shorten, maybe not shorten the season, play less games? I think Kerr threw out 10 less games. Would that help on the injury front?
Potentially. I really think that a lot of these injuries are due to the style of play. The NBA just played at a pace right now that I'm not sure the human body's meant to play. And that's why you have bodies breaking down. A lot of soft tissue injuries, non-contact injuries, in this case, a collapsed lung. We're finding it more and more referees are going down with soft tissue injuries because they're having to run faster and change directions more often. So I just think that the style of play, the length of the season, okay, we've had an 82-game season forever. We're having more injuries than ever. Is it really the length of the season, or is it the style of play? I really think it's the style of play, and the game is being played so fast, and the emphasis is on run, harder, faster, that the body's eventually going to break down. I'm wondering if we're not pushing up against the physiological limits of what the human body can take.
That is interesting, and the only answer that I would have for that would be you play the game more like hockey. And I'm not saying a shift should be 30 or 45 seconds like they do in hockey, where you can change on the fly. But maybe you have to have more substitutions. Maybe you do need to play 10 guys, and maybe your length of play needs to be shortened. If it's a 6-minute stretch that you play and you get substituted, maybe it needs to be a 4-minute stretch.
I'll tell you what, here's another thing. Training camp, 3 days, come on. I mean, you cannot get ready to play an NBA season with a 3-day training camp. Period. End of sentence. Close the book. That's the way you've got to break down your body in training camp so that it can endure a long season. And the whole thing about, well, we're going to rest guys. Have you ever heard of a marathon runner saying, I'm going to prepare for a marathon by not running?
No.
Right?
Right.
So to me that you've got to go back to training camps that are a couple of weeks long. I mean, as recently as when Lionel Hollins was coaching, it was a week, 10 days, and there were 2-a-days. Now, the second practice might have just been shooting rather than a full scrimmage, let's say. But and Brevin will back me up on this. He says, you know what? The training camps are not nearly long enough, and they do not prepare you for the physical rigors of an NBA season, and that really should be the point of training camp.
That, I guess that would take CBA, right? You'd have to go back and discuss that with the union and go, look, we're bringing you in an extra 10 days early, and this is going to be all about conditioning. You guys willing to do that, and we're not giving you any more money to do that. That would be interesting for me to see. Last thing real quick, best team you've seen this year. The team that if you had to put money down on who, and I know you don't do that, just to be clear, that would win the NBA championship right now, top to bottom, offense, defense, the team that you think will win the NBA championship, which team is that?
If let's assume that the teams are at full strength. Full strength, Oklahoma City. I think they're solid top to bottom. They've got depth. They're still at the top of the heap despite losing a ton of games to injury. If SGA is healthy, they're the best team that I've seen this year.
And how about SGA's record of 20 or more points beating Will Chamberlain? That's, to me, I think the last time he didn't score 20 was November of 24.
Yeah, he's just remarkable with his consistency. I know he's injured now, but really until this, he was a guy who did not take games off. He was like James Harden. I want to play every game.
I love it when I see a player like that. Give me Michael Jordan any day of the week. Pete Pranica, as always, we appreciate it. We will talk again next Thursday.
Sounds good.
All right, that's our guy on the NBA and, of course, on the Grizzlies, the TV voice. That is Pete Pranica. He's brought to you by Sheldon. It's that time of year again. He's on the loose. He's selling houses left and right and spraying balls on every golf course that he can find. Sheldon devotes his time to taking care of his clients. That's why his listings sell so quickly at good prices. Just look at some of the testimonials if you go to his website, where you can get a hold of him too, memphisrelocate.com, or on his social media sites. When he tells people his highly successful strategic marketing program should be compared to what other agents do, he means it. He says talk to 2 or 3 agents before deciding on who you want to use. Just make sure he's one of them. Make sure you interview him. But if you want to play golf, he's like James Bond, 007. That's 0 birdies, 0 pars, 7 double bogeys. Remember what people say: when you want the job done, you call Sheldon. That number, 483-0546, or it's even easier. Just go to memphisrelocate.com. We're traveling somewhere, maybe Atlanta. Our friend from ESPN, Tom Hart, on the NCAA tournament and some SEC stuff. He comes your way in just a minute.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
When you want your favorite drink without the big box hassle, you need City Center Liquor in Lakeland, your locally owned shop for wine, spirits, beer, and all your tobacco needs. With a friendly staff that knows their stuff, you'll get great recommendations, fast service, and the hometown feel you love. So whether you're stocking up for the weekend or on the hunt for something new to try, City Center Liquor has you covered. City Center Liquor, 9774 Shady Village Lane, just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
March is known for its madness, and once again this year, that madness could lead to cash in your pocket. UTJ at Classic Arms is so excited about his fall's chances in the tournament, he's partnering with us to give away $98.50 to a lucky winner every time Tennessee wins a game. So cheer on the Volunteers, and when they win, tune into Sports 56 mornings the next day for your chance to win $98.50. Thanks to Classic Arms and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in. We're headed, I'm not sure. Could be Atlanta. Could be NIT. Could be Women's NCAA. Where are you, Tom Hart? Good morning.
Good morning. It's Lake Carmen, San Diego. No, I'm sitting at home in Atlanta. We got some college baseball this weekend, so I'm headed to beautiful Starkville, Mississippi later tonight, and hoping and praying that the airplane has seatback TVs. Otherwise, I'm watching the tournament on my tiny phone.
There you go. Hey, I've done that quite a bit. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
At least we got it right. Modern technology.
Oh my goodness!
Back in the day, my middle school teacher rolled in the TV, right, and you could sit there and watch the tournament during class if you had a cool teacher.
Let's be honest though. Back in the old days, for me, if you were going from Atlanta to Starkville, they wouldn't put you in a plane. You'd be driving.
That's right.
There you go. Did you get to watch any of the Miami of Ohio game last night? And if you did, I know you had to come to the same conclusion that I did. That team deserved to be in there. Bruce Pearl, you better apologize.
Yeah, Bruce loves being in the spotlight. He might just keep that run going. I got to be honest, Wolo. I text thread going with my college basketball fanatic buddies that I grew up with, and they're all on the Miami train, and that thing started, and I just looked at the screen, and I went, man, SMU is so much bigger.
Yeah.
And so much stronger, and I just, this is going to go SMU's way, right? Despite the fact that their lead player was out. I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Miami's a great team. They play great team basketball, and that atmosphere, I don't think we've ever seen Dayton like that. That was fantastic. That mattered to those fans and that fan base, and it's fun to see them. Listen, here's the thing. No matter how big your dreams are, when you go into the postseason, you go into the tournament, it could be over for your fan base after 40 minutes of basketball action. So in some ways, I'm really glad that Miami got that moment and got to be on top of the world and experience that big win on national TV, standalone game, and say we belong. Because we have upsets galore in the first round. We have no idea what's going to happen.
That's why we love this thing so much. I'm with you. I watched the first few minutes of that game, and I thought, oh, my gosh. And I was pulling for Miami of Ohio because I felt like they deserved to be there. You go 31-0. You should be there, and I know the MAC never gets 2 bids in, but this year was different because how many years do you ever have a perfect season? And this guy Steele is such an interesting guy and an honest guy, and his teams play in such an honest way. They share the ball. They have mixable pieces. They all look kind of alike to me. Elmer can kill you. The Sudler guy can kill you. The other guy that has I can't remember his name, but he's just like Sudler.
Shooter.
Yeah. They're all good. I mean, they're all intermixable. They're all really good. Their scheme is great. They share the ball. They backdoor cut. I mean, I love the way they play a half-court offense.
Here's a good example of how good they are sharing the basketball. Their assist rate is pretty good, but they shoot 61% from 2.
Yeah,
that means
right.
that you're getting open shots. You're getting a lot of open shots at the rim, and they're not a fast break team. I mean, sure they can run, but that's usually a team shoots a high percentage of 2 because they're 40 minutes of hell and they're getting layups and dunks on the other end. That's not the case with them.
No. Do they have any chance against Tennessee? You've seen Tennessee a bunch.
Yeah, I actually, I'm going to answer this question 2 ways. Do they have a chance against Tennessee? Yes, of course they do, because they're a great team and they know how to win. You don't trip your way into 31 wins. That being said, I think this tournament, and Tennessee is a prime example, is a tournament where stars can carry their teams, and I think Nate Ament for Tennessee can carry them. I've got them going pretty far. I've got them going to the Final Four, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
So that would preclude Miami, of course, from winning, even though we know anything that can happen. I think there's a comp to be made with this Tennessee team with what Rick Barnes had with Kevin Durant at Texas, which went deep in the tournament. And the point being that you put the ball in your superstar's hands, and you may not need him in the first round, you may not need him in the second round, but you're going to need him when you play in Iowa State or a Texas Tech or an Alabama or, even in Arizona if you make it that far. And if he does have an off game early, they've got good size where that can carry him as well. And Jacoby Gillespie's a really good point guard who can score. I mean, he could drop 25 on any given night. So that's probably why I have teams like Tennessee and Arkansas advancing as far as I do. Just the familiarity with the prime player, and obviously Darius Acuff going for 30 and 11 in an SEC championship game is a pretty good example.
Oh, he was remarkable how good he was. I've got Tennessee getting to the Elite Eight and losing there. I'm sorry, to the Sweet 16 and losing to Virginia there. But I could make an argument when you take into account Amen, you take into account the guard, you take into account the big guy. That's where I think that they're going to hurt the Miami of Ohio ball club, is that they don't have an answer inside like Tennessee does. And so Tennessee's got the 3 pieces that you really need.
Yeah, and Miami's big guy has great size for that league, but he's obviously fairly limited in what he can do.
He's 6'9" and he's skinny. That's tough.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, all right, since you brought that up, who is your Final Four?
Well, I do 2 brackets every year. I'll just give you the one that makes the most common sense. I do one that I believe in, and then I do one that says, okay, if things go really sideways, what would this look like?
Huh.
And that one's fun to do.
Sure.
I'm not
full of upsets, right?
Full of upsets.
Okay.
And, in the crazy scenario, could this team do this? But my most traditional, and the one I think makes the most sense, I've got 2 1 seeds, Arizona and Florida, and I've got them playing for the championship with Arizona winning.
Wow.
It's just too hard to go back to back.
Wait, we're the same. That's what I got.
Well,
who are your other 2, though?
My other 2, I know we differ here. I've got Michigan State, because I just don't think Duke's injuries will allow it to make it all the way to the Final Four. So I've got them losing before that. I've got losing to Michigan State. They might lose to St. John's or Kansas. And Tennessee is my 4th Final Four.
Okay.
And maybe, I'll admit this, Wolo, maybe that's more heart than head, because I'm such a big Rick Barnes fan, and I want to see him. He's closer to the end of his coaching career than he is at the beginning, and I want to see him have some success on that stage.
Well, since you said that, I have to bring this up. because in the show prior to mine with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy, they actually thought it would be a possibility that if Rick had a really good run to the Final Four, as you've got him, that this would be his last year, that he might step down. Do you see that possibility?
Yeah, I absolutely could see that happening. I think, though, that what stands in the way of that is they've got such. This is not as many coaches want to make you believe, and for some of them, this is certainly true. It's not really a grind for Rick Barnes, right? They have incredible financial support. The recruiting is simplified these days.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up the phone, you say, this is our number, and you get the kid or not. I'm oversimplifying, but, done are the days where you finish a game on, Thursday night, and you jump on a jet, and you fly to Chicago, see the kid play on Friday, and you fly back home, and you got to coach a game. They don't mess with that anymore. No. So he's got a really well-oiled machine at Tennessee, and I know he enjoys it, and he enjoys his staff. He also loves his family, so I could see it either way. It's not going to be, those guys are dead on. It's not going to be another 5-year run for him. If it's not this year, then it's probably next year. But I saw him. I didn't have his games in Nashville, but I saw him in the hallway after one of the wins, and the biggest smile on his face, and he was just so excited to be there and loves what he does and loves. I think he might love coaching his team in practice more than he does games.
Most
he
coaches do. Most
yeah.
coaches. Like you talk to Larry Brown, for instance. Larry Brown says, the games are okay. I like competition, but I love the classroom. I love practice. I love experimenting. By the way, Rick Barnes is only 71 years old. As a guy who's about to be 73, 71 looks pretty. I wish I could go back those 2 years. Just for my golf game, just for the distance. That's all.
Yeah. Everybody loses yardage, Willow.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to tell me that, Tom. I don't think Rick Barnes is like. Even let's say he got to the Final Four, and I don't think this team is going to, but let's just say they did. Wouldn't he go? Look what I just did! I got to keep this run going. I got to find the next amen. I mean, he had Connect. Who did he have last year? That was so good. He finds a good guy every year. He gets a great point guard every year. I mean, why would you, at 71, what are you going to do, play golf every day? I don't even know if he plays golf.
And they had Zakai Ziegler for so long, there's thought that, okay, if they, this will be the end of it because he loves coaching Zakai. There will always be, no disrespect to Zakai, but there will always be a player on the roster that he absolutely loves and he's sunk his heart and soul into, if not 5 of them. So I agree with you. We could see it either way, right? Early exit, man, I'm not going out like that.
Right,
Deep
exactly.
run, boy, that was fun. Let's run it back.
Yeah, I can do this
it's
again.
His life.
Right. Is Carmichael, what year is he? I can't remember.
I'm sorry?
The point guard.
Jacoby Gillespie?
Yeah, Gillespie. I said Carmichael.
Yeah, he's a senior. He transferred in. I think this is his final year, but in this day and age, it's so hard to keep track.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely. Somebody came out with, I guess it's Tommy Tuberville, who said, I have a solution for all this. And I remember Ryan Silverfield saying this to me 2 or 3 years ago, that he thought this is what should happen and would happen, is that the NCAA, now the COVID exemptions are all out the door. I mean, that's over. Just give a guy 5 years. If he plays all 5 years, great. If he gets hurt and he misses 2 years, that's tough. That's a tough break. But you got 5 years to play 5. No more gray shirt, red shirt, blue shirt, whatever the shirt. None of that. No more bull shirt. How about that?
Well, I think that's the ideal scenario. And if the governing body is blown up and the rules are reset, that will be one of the first things on the table when they draft a new constitution. Remember, as much as people love to rail on the NCAA, it is a member institution that is run by its members, yet is being blown up by those same members.
Right. And the
each
courts.
and every turn we take.
And the courts.
So, the courts at the behest of the members.
Yes.
Right? The courts at the behest of the athletic departments and athletic directors and governors who run those state schools. So it is, as the old saying goes, the call is coming from within the house, and then everybody's trying to catch up or keep up. I love 5 years to play. I think that they're just constantly afraid of litigation, and that somebody will come out and say, hold on a second, I make too much money playing college basketball. This is restraint of trade if you don't allow me a 6th year or 7th year. And by the way, that same financial incentive that is there for these players, in my mind, is, and Will Leach wrote a great article today in The Athletic that outlines this. It's what has made college basketball have this renaissance. A few years ago, Zachary Rechiche was the first pick in the draft. 4 of the top 10 players, 2 of them came from France. Nobody knew anybody else.
Right.
All of these college kids were running off because it was better to take a risk and roll the dice to be in the second round and end up in the G League than to play another. Now they know, hold on, I can make my money in college. I can, Yaxel Lendenborg can go play at Michigan instead of forcing his way into the back end of the draft or into the second round, make a ton of money, and then go to the NBA. And, UAB fans may not be happy with that, but the fact of the matter is it's a better sport and there's better talent because of it. And it's also the way you get guys to stick around at the major programs for a second year or a third year, or the big guy who may be limited. Hunter Dickinson played a long time in college basketball when in years past he probably would have bounced.
I hear you, and I was all for labor finally getting paid. I do think we have to have better rules. I think if 5 years is the way it goes, I'm good with that. I do think there has to be some restriction on maybe a one-time only move. Otherwise, there's too much leverage and money going to a player, and no loyalty or anything to a particular program, which means fans don't really attach themselves and ticket sales go down until you get to postseason play. Something's got to be done. It's wrong to me that Yaxel Lendenborg or a guy like Yaxel can make more money in college than he could as a pro somewhere. They're just fundamentally, and I say to you, I think they should get paid, but more than you would if you went to be a pro. There's something that gets me on that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, and I see those same gray areas as being a concern. But that being said, the game is better now because the talent has been retained than the direction we were going 3 years ago or so. And, I was trying to think of a fair comp. There are guys in minor league baseball that are making more than the minimum at the major league level based on the signing bonus that they got because they're prospects and they're pitching at Double-A and they're on their way up to the big leagues. And right now, where we were threatened, the college game was threatened by the G League just a couple of years ago. College basketball is the true minor league for the NBA, and I do think that's a good thing for it to be the minor leagues, as opposed to the G League coming in and being a threat to take away some of this talent, like the Thompson brothers, who ended up playing in overtime elite, and we never saw them in the college game, and they ended up being top 10 picks.
Well, let's go to, because you do such a great job with college baseball. This is the last thing. I'm always long with you. A second baseman, shortstop at college, maybe an 8th, 9th round pick in the Major League Baseball draft. He's going to go and maybe get a small bonus, and then he's going to get a minor league salary to start at Single-A. Or he stays in college and gets 50 to 100 grand because he's really good and he can play both those positions in the middle infield. I mean, he's making more money than he would as a minor leaguer, isn't he? If he plays in the SEC?
Not only is he making more money, and a lot of times that, well, if you're a first rounder, that's different. But we're talking about, to your point specifically, not only is he making more money, but Rob Manfred said this, I think it was about 5 years ago when he was on our telecast in Omaha at the College World Series. He said, we have found, and our teams have found at the major league level, that the best development of talent is not within our minor league system. It is within the power conference system in major college baseball. He didn't specifically say the SEC, but the SEC is the leader in that regard. There are certain ACC teams, there are certain Big 12, and now with the Cali teams, Big 10. But you're flying private. You're getting incredible nutrition. You're getting great strength training. And the SEC, and I'm looking specifically at schools like Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and I'll throw Wake Forest in there from the ACC. They led the technological revolution for these pitching labs that then carried up to the major league level. So you're getting better in every facet of the game at the college level than you would be on a bus in the Carolinas if you're in the minor league level. Oh, by the way, it just so happens you get paid pretty well, and don't mistake the competition factor when you're a Friday night guy and you're going against another first-round pick on the mound and you're pitching in Starkville in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah, that's it.
The juices flow a lot more than that than a Tuesday afternoon in Winston-Salem.
No question. And you're playing in front of a packed house, as you just mentioned, and you're on national TV with Tom Hart doing the game, for goodness sake. Come on.
Come on, what's better than that?
No, nothing. Nothing's better than that. Tom Hart, I always appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next Thursday.
All right, enjoy the games, Wolo.
I will. That is Tom Hart from ESPN. He's brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken knows it's a big deal. You're making the decision. You're building your dream home, or maybe you're going to stay where you love being. You love your lot, but you want modern amenities. You want the California closet. You want the island in the kitchen. You want the movie room with the speakers in the wall. He can do that. He knows renovation with innovation like the back of his hand. If it's not him, his son, William. There's 3 generations of knowledge with Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Go to their website. See what people say about them. Look at the palaces they built throughout the Metroplex for 80 years. There's a reason you're in business that long. It's because you're really good. You see all the details and the big picture all at once. You're building a dream home. You're going to get a renovation with innovation. There's only one place to go. That's Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. We take a break. We're going downtown to talk to the Hall of Famer. Jarvis Greer is next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Hi, fellas. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Christmas and Valentine Day have come and gone, but you know that at some point you'll need to make your favorite lady happy on her anniversary or her birthday, or just because you want her to know how special and important she is. At Russell Brothers, we've been helping gentlemen for over 5 decades do just that. When a gift-giving occasion arises, we're here to help you. Magnificent diamond rings, beautiful necklaces, shimmering gemstone bracelets. So much to choose from, and the possibilities are endless. At Russell Brothers, you can always know that if you surprise her and she'd rather have something else, we're happy to exchange or refund your money within 30 days. Beauty, value, quality, and service are the things that set Russell Brothers apart from other jewelers. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar. Let us help you say you're the best to that wonderful lady in your life.
Volkswagen Driver Days is going strong, and Gossett Volkswagen's got you covered on the pike. Get out here right now and get sporty 2026 Jetta S. We Gossett now just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. How about 2026 Tiguan S? We Gossett $269 a month. Yes, $269 a month for Tiguan S. And if you're looking for performance, style, and technology, look no further than 2026 Atlas SE. We Gossett Gossett at $319 a month, or get 0% for 60 months available. You ready for a new ride? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettBWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, Jetta TM 005137, MSRP 25820, Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32585, Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month, dealer stock only.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Final segment. We head downtown. The Hall of Famer Jarvis Greer standing by. Jarvo, lots of fronts to talk about, so little time. Penny and Dr. Ed Scott addressing the team, building a team for next year, why he brought Penny back, what sort of they're going to plan to do. What was your overall take about yesterday's pretty emotional press conference?
Well, I think that, first of all, not very many news conferences go like 40 minutes.
I know.
They usually pretty much get in, get out, take a few questions. That's it. We're gone. Adios. But no, they sat there and answered all the questions took them straight up. And I thought gave some really informative answers into how the program works and how this is going to work going forward. And I think that's what the fans needed and, what the media was after. And I think that, it's a step in the right direction. Coach Dr. Scott, called him Big Ed, said that, he's going to be transparent. He's going to speak. And I think he is of the kind that speak once, and once you speak, you've spoken. So now they're going to move on. That's why they answered every question, did everything, and now they're ready to implement the plan, so to speak.
The coolest thing that I heard out of that whole thing yesterday, they're going to hire a GM and a new staff within 7 to 10 days, and they need to, because the portal opens and you only got, so much time because everybody's going to be snarfed up. People are already being tampered with. That's just part of the way the whole system works in this day and age. But how they went to a professor with mathematics, and they're using AI to identify players in the portal, and there's a couple of thousand of those, right? So if you've got a particular need, and Dr. Scott, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I found it fascinating. Let's say you want a 3-and-D guy that's 6'6", that shoots around 40% from three-point range. How do you find that guy? You put him in the AI, you scour with that, and I don't know how long it takes, and I don't know how you built that model to find that stuff so quickly. It's beyond my comprehension, but apparently this mathematics professor can do it, and they're going to use these tools to identify the team they're going to try to build.
Well, it's like I'm a kind of the old school. You go by your gut. You look at these people, and you go after here. But that was back when you were basically just recruiting high school players. Now you got high school kids plus 2,000 in the portal, and you can't look at everybody. And so that's where this AI business is definitely beneficial. But it's not only like who does this, who does that. It's like, okay, is this somebody that can play the way you want them to play, and also how much money are you willing to spend on them? All right, you put the price tag out there and say, this guy's worth this much, this guy's worth that much, and you go that way. And if you get them, you get them. If they don't want to come for that, then you move on to the next guy on your list. And I think that quickens the process, because the process is going to have to be quick. And also, there was some people, oh, wow, they're waiting so long to do all this stuff. Well, Ed Scott's had a list of people. They always have a list of coaches. They always have a list of administrators or associates and all that stuff for any eventuality. And they've been working on this in the background for a good while, because who knew which way the Penny situation was going to go. So, they already had names that they were ready to go ahead. Okay, we're ready to, here's the offer. Are you coming or not? And I think that's what they're doing with the new GM position, and that's what they're doing with the assistants. That's why I said 7 to 10 days. And also, today or tomorrow, I think, with the players on the current team, on the current roster, you got till today to make up your mind. Here's what we're offering you. You want it? Great. We'll see you in uniform when practice starts. If you don't, okay, well, good luck to you. And that's the way to speed up the process. And I think that's kind of what, like, the bigger schools or the schools that have a lot of money, like in the Power Four, they are doing that because they can. And now, the Tigers have, they got. It's not like they're paupers in this deal now. They still got money to spend, and they're going out and they're just trying to be more judicious in how they spend it, and not just go with a gut kind of thing, and not wait on people that, you're not sure you're going to get. You get, like P.J. Haggerty and Dane Danger for whatever the reasons were that they weren't able to come back.
Well, they clearly said we'll never make that mistake again, waiting that long.
Correct.
And misidentifying intentions. So, that will be interesting. I was surprised that he basically said all 8 guys were given possible ways back with new guidelines, with roles, and with salary that were put forth, and they have until tomorrow to make their decision. They've already been given the options. Worst team in 56 years, I wouldn't bring a whole bunch of them back. Who would you like back?
Well, I would like Thedford, Julius Thedford, because he works hard. He's he does a really good job on the board defensively. He's a manic type player that can get you steals. He can score. So yeah, I like Thedford, and plus he's a Memphian. Curtis Gibbons III still needs some work, but so did Andre Turner. He didn't get it until his junior year. So did Chris Garner. He didn't really get it until his junior year. Well, now Curtis Gibbons is going into his junior year, and plus he's a big guard, local product. I think I would keep him. I would keep Majok because what is he? Just turned 19. He's young. Yeah, he's raw.
That's the one project I would keep, and I agree with you on Thedford. If I kept Curtis Gibbons, I would spell out his role.
Definitely. You're back up.
Maybe you're an 8th
We're
or
going
9th
after
guy.
a big guard. You're back up.
Mm-hmm. Will he accept that though? And would he accept the salary that goes with that?
Well, that's the deal. That's what you have to do. Penny is like, they call him Coach Penny, and they're like friends with the coach. But it's like your parent. I'm your parent. I can't be your friend sometimes. I'd like to be, your friend, but sometimes I got to be your parent, and I got to tell you, tough love. This is what it is, and either you're going to do it or you're not. Either you'll accept it or you're not. And a lot of these guys have agents now, so it's not like it's a personal thing. And you have to treat it that way. You can't be. And this is one thing Jerry West said when he was general manager of the Grizzlies. Can you imagine that, Jerry West, manager of the Grizzlies? He said, "I like players, but I'm not in love with them. You can move them around because they are pieces on a puzzle board." And you try to get the best ones in to fit what it is you want to do, and then fit together to make the picture complete. And that's the way they got to go after this thing going forward.
Yep. Congratulations. We're out of time, but I got to say the streamers work. Thank goodness the Grizzlies ended the 8-game losing streak. They have a great strategy against Jokic. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. He's had multiple double-figure turnovers both times, 3 times.
10 and 9. 9 last time, 10 yesterday.
Yeah. So they scurrying around like a bunch of little busy bees, and also they're really good in the tank. They play their good players in games they think they're going to lose, and they rest everybody against the teams that probably that they should probably beat.
Yeah.
It's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it has. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk next Thursday. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Hey, have a good one.
That is our Hall of Famer. That is Jarvis Greer. We were sitting right here in the Family Leisure Studios, and I want to remind you, you need to get to I-40 and Wooden Road. Do it, because we are already the 19th. I'm certain when April comes, I know there's going to be a big chemical sale. This could be your last shot to get these deep discounts on all of the display models that are still there, on in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even the cold plunges. It's time to make room, and they're really doing it. So go see Billy, go see Lindsay, tell them we sent you. There could be something special if you do, if you mention our name, and head on over to see those good folks at Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. I'm off tomorrow. Landon Schmidt will take over with the usual suspects. I'll see you again on Monday. Have a great day, everybody.